some issues we're having here, dropping a few frames, so I'm gonna go ahead and make sure we get that fixed straight away.
Fluid as possible. Quite exciting here. I think these teams can be evenly matched. It depends on the day though, because they are both rather inconsistent, I would say. It's hard to judge teams like, for example, Among Us, who have recently made changes, because you can't really tell if these changes will be beneficial or not. And in fact, Among Us is a really difficult team to analyze in general, because, like, are they going to keep playing together? When it was 23 Savage, it was much more difficult to analyze them, because it was very obvious they were not going to keep playing together, because 23 Savage is already signed on by VG Gaming. Now it's kind of, you don't really know the situation with Abed quite yet, so we're going to see. But it seems to be coming into their own as a real team. I don't really like teams that declare themselves as temporary, because you make a lot of effort to join together, you can improve as players, then you stop playing together. That sucks. That's not something I want to see. So it's kind of hard to judge how well Geekfam will do these days. This is a completely new squad without 23 Savage. Your carry means so much in this meta. It completely changes the way you...
That's always something that kind of fascinated me about Dota, right? Is like how different teams... Wow, that sucks. Team March is going. Thank you for the free money. Always love starting with a sentry if you can get a good one off. But to get the free D-ward. But I think that's always something that's really fascinated me as you look through the... what's the word? The epocas? What's the word in English? The eons, I guess, of Dota, right? You know, the stages of Dota, kind of seeing, oh, well, in this meta, in the mid laners, you know, TI5, it was all about the mid lane. Sumail, oh, they're going to be going for March already top lane, hiding the Yamate on the bottom, and that'll be first blood. Nice job there, Fortune's End into an arrow. But it felt like all about tempo back during TI5, for example, you know, all about mid lane, all about having a carry somewhere on the map that could provide very, very fast kind of start time.
That was the time where, because I remember back in the day, or back in the time, there was around that era more or less that the mid lane carry was invented. You know, that you could actually carry from the mid lane. That's when the role of the mid lane started positioning from purely a space creator, which was kind of when S4 used to play back in TI3, into the more Arteezy style of mid lane, where I'm going to carry from this mid lane. Ironically, now Arteezy's a carry, right? So I guess it makes sense that we're the inventor of that. But it was very interesting to watch as Dota progresses, right? And similarly with the team, right? It depends on what time you, like what era you're playing, more or less. That certain changes to the team will matter more or less.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so that's why when you say, oh, 23 Savage, you know, basically, you know, it's so hard to imagine Geek Fam without him. And I completely agree with you. Nice arrow again. Yes. In Your Dream, who's not the carry.
Yeah, because In Your Dream was not the carry, and this In Your Dream, ironically, was also playing mid recently, or relatively recently as well. So also made that transition, and it's interesting because he got a lot of hype. I think it was around one of the summits as well, when he did incredibly well, beating some of the better teams back when lands were a thing, and then kind of got dropped off the map for a while, and now he's back in the major team. And you're dreaming the top lane. Talk about him. He is going to go down, but in exchange for a kill for March, it wouldn't have been too bad if March had a point in Glaze of Wisdom. Unfortunately, he didn't, so he doesn't get any extra intelligence, and it's just your carry dying for a offlane kill, which is not really worth it for you, especially since your carry did not get any experience.
Yeah, he just thought he was a bit stronger than he actually was, as Yamate is going to get... Oh, March! He was unfortunate giving the Glaives of Wisdom to Marana instead of looking to deny the Observer. Might be dead here if they can reach with an open wounds, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get it done. Oh, baiting? Oh, good effort. Good effort. I like that. It's mid, though. DDZ versus Abed. 13-0 versus the 10-1. Not too surprising to see a Kunkka kind of doing pretty decently in a melee matchup, I would say.
Yeah, I would say that Kunkka beats this matchup though quite consistently. DDZ, you can push the lane decently, but your harassment for Tidebringer usually is better. You're not going to beat a Kunkka. Abed is messing up a lot though on those. You never Tidebringer the lane when you're level 2 until you have hit the range creep at least. But that's a huge mistake. Basic
I think maybe Old Tiny was a bit better because now trees are back to the charges, right?
Not Old Tiny, you mean the Tiny that had no charges? Because the Old Tiny was...
Well, Old Tiny never could pick up trees, right? But
I guess
you mean if you bought Ags. I'm not that old, I guess. The previous Tiny.
The previous iteration of Tiny where trees didn't have charges. Yeah, that's when Tiny started played as a carry as well. So it was much better at farming, much better at harassing the lane. This one's still fine. Yes, you don't you don't get destroyed by the Kunkka. But Kunkka has a slight advantage because he can tank your combo almost every time. And he even went for a double bracer build, so popular on Kunkka. Usually I'm against double bracer build because they're actually mathematically inefficient. There's no benefit to get a double bracer on a strength hero compared to Wraith Band, but particularly on Kunkka, because you're just looking for the strength itself, I can justify it because he's not a hero that likes going for treads.
Yeah, I feel like Kunkka was one of the heroes that kind of ushered in the sort of back when these... Oh, good deny again, Abed. That's an up back combo.
You don't need to do that.
You got to send him a PM after this one. Abed.
Your admiral is on
11k for what? I'm just kidding. But back when bracers and null talismans used to give you... well, actually, they still... But back when they give you, you know... Oh, no, they don't anymore. Back when bracers give you 6% magic resist, right? When I started, I was like, that's a good idea. And everyone started stacking them. I think you saw it then with Magnus, right? But I think it started with Kunkka. He was always just like, double bracer. Mag was like, how about I build 4 bracers?
Actually, it started with double Wraith Bands, where people were like, oh, Wraith Bands are super OP because they give attack speed. And it was really, really OP in the beginning because that attack speed needed to be toned down. What you're referring to is back when these items were... they had synergy, right? Now these items are all, at least especially Bracer, is anti-synergistic. So the stats it gives you goes against what the... Like, essentially, the strength it gives you goes against the extra stat. The HP regen gets worse the more strength you have, because obviously you have more HP, which means your strength, the HP regen is less percentage of your total HP. So it's anti-synergistic now compared to the old one, which is why stacking them is not as wise most of the time.
Zephyr, he's gonna be okay. Just force the Icarus dive off and away. Tiny with a bottled haste turn, so keep your eye on that mid laner, as he could be off to something sneaky. Lickety split.
I mean, yeah, I guess you have 3 points in Avalanche. You did go for the ultimate kill build. Some Tiny's like going for toss, but I think if you're mid, you have to go for the Avalanche build. He doesn't try to steal the rune. That's a good idea, actually, DTZ. Whole time. Now Zephyr. Yep. Yeah, there we go. Avalanche toss. Too easy. 3 times the damage with Avalanche.
He also scouts the Ancient being stacked as well. Steals a bounty rune, refills it. Very, very efficient trip out for DDZ. Nice job there.
Yeah, and if Lance this game goes for a...
Battle Fury?
Battle Fury, that's it. You can easily take those Ancients as long as they have the best people to take. And Kunkka is kind of slow at taking Ancients, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely needs to hit level 7, right? He's pretty close, but... He tends to suffer from a little bit of lower HP and gets kind of just ganked by them early on. Yeah, lots of stacks though. Lots of stacks being scouted. Yamada is already all up in the Among Us jungle, just looking to see what he can find as March rotating around. They are going to scan out Tiny, but he's going to get scouted by the Hawk here, so likely to see March falling as Yamate does not want to increase the Arcane Curse and doesn't actually need to. DDZ closing the gap. Eventually we'll give him another 6 seconds, but it's not going to matter because it'll net him a kill. Nice job there.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, you only killed March. He's only at 5, of course, but it's more kills for Star. And I did mention this in the draft, right? And the Star, if they can run away with these lanes, they have the earlier proposition. Mozu in trouble. Yeah, I think they're going to get him with a torrent. Nice X marks the spot there. That's the reliability you needed to get some early ganks and stave off the aggression from the opponent. But, oh, DDZ, nice. He actually finds a stack I think was made for Kunkka. And he's going to take it completely. This is huge. Tiny's a great hero at taking stacks that are not Ancients because he has so much magical AoE damage. And Kunkka feels so sad. He even leaves a bunch of little golems there.
They can just TP. It's not like March has anything to stop him with here. And I think that's what I was about to say before they ended up killing, before they ended up getting the kill onto the mid laner was no, like yes, you get that kill, but most importantly, you scout those big stacks, and of course DDZ just refills his bottle yet again and steals all of those. So Abed not really having too great of a game here, all that considered. I think he's still all right. He's still a Kunkka, so he will recover, and of course he is still leading in terms of CS, but it could be better for him. But I don't think that's going to be really too big of a hindrance here for the side of Among Us, if I'm being honest. In Your Dream as well, comfortably farming pretty decently, 35 and 8. He is behind the Troll Warlord quite a bit here, but he's at least keeping even with Candyloon.
Let's see, with the rotation from TDZ, they might kill In Your Dream here. They have Mirana as well, and like I said, Toss is a really good setup for the arrow as well, but In Your Dream can always rage this, so it's not the easiest thing to kill a Lifestealer. In fact, the other Infest. Yeah, he TP's mid as well. They try to stop it.
That was close.
Oh, interesting. Both carries are actually TPing mid, but Lance is in a really bad position because Abed can just punish him here. Xbox spot is level 2, but Unfortunately, let's not forget Xbox's pot range got nerfed a while ago, so you can't do those crazy plays anymore.
Very necessary nerf.
This rotation, though, is really good by Among Us. They could actually try to take this mid-tier 1 tower. I wonder if Lance came here just because they knew that they couldn't rotate with anyone else, and they want to make sure this tier 1 doesn't fall, because mid-tier 1 is the most important one in the game, of course. So, interesting, because you don't usually see this from carries. Carries will usually rotate to the offlane first to maximize their farm.
I think it's got something to do with the fact that none of them really particularly enjoys the enemy offlaner's presence that much, so that, you know, oh, you know what, I don't see anyone mid right now, I'm gonna TP there only to bump into one another, because I don't think you particularly enjoy farming against either a Beastmaster or a Centaur as two of the more prickly offlaners that you can be matched against, as that's going to be the top tower down. Very good start here for Candyloon, though. It's hard to deny that. CS looking pretty good. Tier 1 tower already down, and he's now got a full drums ready to go. So he might be looking for some early engagements here with the backing of his team.
We'll see. Beastmaster is one of the heroes that can actually play a little bit like Brood Mother. You leave him alone, you'll push all your towers, you'll push all your objectives. So it's
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
A little bit more flexible. I know what you're saying, like Brood Mother, right? But Brood Mother famously is like, you kick her out of her current lane and she gets very sad, right? Until she has eggs, and then she doesn't care. But Beastmaster, he's at least a little bit flexible. But yeah, he likes to stay in one lane and kind of just farm it and keep hitting creep and knock on some towers and something like that. So there's going to be the roar now onto Silencer. March. Well, but he is going to drop, and Cuckoo TPing in a bit too late to really get anything done about that.
Oh, Yamate, the help though from Mozum. Yes, that's what the spot. There's a Sunray as well. Remember, it's magical damage now. But unfortunately, the Fate Seer doesn't last too long. It's only level 1. Yamate tried to leap up to the high ground to TP, but Abed short with a tight ringer. Well played there, Abed. And DZ is getting closer and closer to that Blink Dagger, not doing too bad for himself. Zephyr near TDZ. There we go. Toss plus Avalanche. Zephyr's dead as well. Perfect for TDZ. In your dream. Trying to find DDZ. There's a torrent here. Okay, way to go ship. DDZ is gonna fall.
Bit silly. I mean,
that was not great.
He tried that once, right, with the haste turn and got away with it, but I think it's a bit difficult for him to get it done at that time without the assistance of the haste turn. You're not able to escape as easily, right? There's a reason why that triangle is pretty easy to hold. You know, the high ground, it's over Anakin, yada yada. It's because you can rotate allies through from so many different ways very, very quickly. So it's a bit silly to see him die right there. I'm sure he's not going to be too happy to see that.
Yeah, especially because he's so close to the Blink Dagger, and that sets him back a bit, right? And Tiny having a really good timing on Blink Dagger was kind of crucial for this team to succeed. I like always talking about, you know, the tempo drafts and the difference between them. Oftentimes we just say, oh, one draft is easier to execute than the other, but oftentimes we fail to mention that the draft that often is harder to execute can always win if they play perfectly. Like, there's nothing that Among Us can do if Star plays this perfectly. If they run at you, and if they, just because of their tempo, they're going to be able to out-tempo you, and you won't be able to do anything against them. The difficulty, of course, that playing perfectly is near impossible, right? But this is what Star is kind of banking on. And this is why the Tiny Blink Dagger timing is so important, because you really can run over the enemy team before Life Zero can harm yourself. And especially with Troll Beastmaster, your pushing capabilities are also very high. On that note, though, not only is pushing really good for Troll, but also his farming. He's ridiculously farmed. It's 12 minutes in, and his Battle Fury is almost completed. He's only missing 1,000 gold, and he's already going to take a tier 2 up top, completely invading the enemy jungle, and also potentially taking over their shrine, or their outpost. Okay, the toss, yeah, they're going to destroy this egg. It's a free kill here. The Lance even uses the ultimate. That's fine, honestly, as long as he survives. Will they commit for the tower? They're not really sure if the rest of Among Us is joining them. There's a smoke gang coming in, but Troll already decides to retreat as Candyloon finishes off this tower up top. This is a really good play by Star. DDZ, do not stay here farming, though, because they will catch you if you do this. Do not be this greedy, mate. There we go. He's listening to me.
That's good. That's good. They will catch him with the scan, however, so they are still going to make haste his way. Phoenix Supernova, unfortunately, not put to very good use. They did force out the ulti, but there's no immediate follow-up, so it's not like, all right, he's used the ulti, now we can go on him. It's more of he used the ulti. Guys. So maybe a bit of miscommunication there, thinking that there'd be some support, but there isn't, and that's a tier 2 down. And, you know, you said that the mid tier 1 is the most important one. I think it's the most important tier 1. I mean,
it's the most important tier 1, yes.
But I think this top tier 2 makes it a little bit sketchy for Among Us, because not only have they now opened up already this early outpost to be taken, which you now need a tier 2 to take, but it also kind of can start to move the line, right, to steal a line from Winter to a little bit more aggressively here for Team Star. They can afford to rotate. They can afford to be in your jungle. They've already got Hawks and plenty of wards around the map, so it just really increases their map control here by quite a bit. Which is a bit scary when you're playing against a Tiny, Mirana, Beastmaster. These are heroes that, you know, if they can get the jump on you, you're probably dead.
Yep. It's a really good draft to take advantage of the vision, right? Because not just the Beastmaster Hawks, which obviously provide great vision, but even Mirana arrows are a good way to scout as well. And with Tiny Blink Dagger, this is perfect. It works it works wonders for you, as you can get pretty much any single kill on the map. And when you see this smoke, there's a second smoke Among Us commits, and both of these smokes have been kind of blind because they just don't have the map control. They know they're not in the enemy jungle. They might be in their own jungle, but they don't have the high ground to be able to commit to that. So they're staying at tier 1 mid, sorry, trying to open up their map a bit more, which is important.
Well, they have found one though.
Okay, he has Yules though. Ah, nice bait then. Oh, never mind. That was the full Yules for the X mark the spot. Abed almost got him though. Oh, nice arrow there, stopping the Stampede. And Zephyr still has a Supernova. They could fight this troll. Just got Battle Fury, really early Battle Fury. Before 14 minutes, that's ridiculous. They managed to take this tower. There's a Moonlight Shadow trying to counter initiate. Can they catch any stragglers here? Abed with a ghost ship, predicts this perfectly. This is nice, thanks to that ward placed behind them. Now they're stuck in the Supernova. Mosun is gonna fall first. The troll manages to get away. They do use the dust, but it's a bit too late. Lance just wants some space. Lance wants to fight again, but it's against 5. Lance, what are you doing? The madman went back in again, thinking they could bait him further, but this is the wrong play. Lance might just die here. X wants to spot to set up for this. There's Battle Trance, but he can't use it in time. And unfortunately, the carry's gonna fall. Yes, they kill 2 couriers, but they kill no heroes. DDZ needs to wait 5 more seconds for that Blink Dagger to come up. In Your Dream seems to be his target. 2 more seconds for the Blink Dagger. DDZ wants to go for it, but they're a bit too far away. The guys at Among Us calculate this perfectly to make sure they don't get caught with their pants down. He tries to use the high ground to his advantage, but look at In Your Dream. He knew this was going to happen. He knew the Tiny Blink was coming.
They did pick off the Phoenix there. DDZ, he was only able to get him. Although now the arrow onto March. Are they going to keep going here? Yeah, I was going to say, Lance was like, oh, you ward him. We can fight. And he's like, no, buddy. You've only got a Battle Fury. Like, you got to wait. You got to wait a little bit longer. So he's... yeah, going to not be able to get away with that one there. So back into his triangle to farm a little bit, but I'm shocked how poorly that went for Team Star on the reinitiation. It was a good effort by Among Us to try and get in there, but that's kind of what I was saying, that it's like, how do you initiate unless you just get a Stampede or a good blink into the hoof stomp? But vision, just ward wins wars, and shout out to the supports for actually carrying the detection and getting the counter on the counter initiate just perfectly.
That was such a good ward, honestly. I was so impressed with that ghost ship. I was like, did he just guess that? And I see the ward, like, no. Abed might be good, but his supports are better, right? Because they're enabling him. That's the true Dota support right there. It was really well played. That was a good way to get back map control, because mid lane is pretty much the only lane where map control doesn't matter as much. Yule Scepter, that's fine though. They still have Torrent. They could have set up the Torrent, but they're a bit afraid since they go into the high. So yeah, mid lane is difficult. If you don't take the tier 1 mid lane, the mid lane is not really yours. No matter what you take the rest of the map, the mid area still is dangerous for both teams. So if you go with 5 heroes and you put the right wards, you're still going to have the advantage, even if you're losing map control, which is a very smart play by Among Us to regain a bit of the footing we lost this map.
Step lively now. Your Admiral is on.
Yeah, and we also have some key items coming through for Team Star. We've now got not only the phase boots, of course, but the Vlads. So you have the offering now for this team, which is going to be pretty nice for the Troll Warlord to have. He's still working on his way towards the Asha, as the rest of the team will gather behind the tier 2 mid lane. They're going to smoke up, see what they can find. They don't actually have too much control. They haven't been over to the enemy jungle here in a little bit of time, but they might run into a catapult here, which is going to break the smoke. Just a catapult running around. Who could it be? Okay, there's the Yule Scepter. They finally realize something's going on. It's In Your Dream. He's a bit too fast there in the cart, and they're not going to be able to catch him. As middle lane, it looks like they were trying for the Oracle, but he's able to just back off in time. He's actually deciding to go for the Glimmer Cape as well for himself this game.
No.
I never really
let's-
like that, just redundant invis on supports when you already have the Moonlight Shadow.
Yeah, but the Glimmer Cave is not just for the Invis, though. It's great against the Phoenix. Oh, wait. Mazun? Mazun? He does the ultimate? No way. No ultimate for you, son. Global Silence just for the Oracle? I don't know. You can punish that. But I guess the Oracle is still key part of your team. Lance is still using this time to farm, and Lance is still the most farmed hero of this game. And he is beating Lifestealer by 2k. It's not bad.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try and see if he is a little bit too greedy and farms this next creep wave, but he's got good restrain, and he's already TP'd on over. Where is he gone? Tier 2 bot lane. So he's going to be into the jungle and continuing to farm up and dodge that the gank coming his way top lane.
March has the invisibility rune. They also have, look at how many wards they have around the mid lane. Good sentry before to deward the wards that screwed them with the ghost ship earlier. But they just can't possibly guess how many wards, how much commitment Among Us is putting to this mid lane. They're playing this map really smart. Okay, here we go. DDZ trying to touch the Phoenix, one for the Supernova, but they can't. The Stampede now gives them the counter initiation with a beautiful sword number 3. The ghost ship will hit as well. Zephyr still keeping up his ultimate. Now he finally uses it as the troll is forced to use the battle and stay alive. He almost killed the Centaur, but now has to walk away because before Supernova explodes, DDZ the Madman kills off March, but at the expense of his own stun. However, he's still alive. The Sunray hurting him, and Kunkka on only 20 HP tries to get the stun off, but he dies because of this. They try to go as well on DDZ. DDZ running away, finally slowed by the Icarus dive, and they get the enemy mid laner. So many clutch, risky plays that pay off for absolutely nobody, as in the end, Among Us gets the slight upper hand in this engagement.
Yeah, that was a beautiful blink in there. That was just such a good blink in by Centaur. He actually catches 2, maybe even 3, and then Abed is easily able to land a beautiful torrent. They're just kind of CC'd, Supernova on top. DDZ, he's insane though. He doesn't even care. He's like, we're losing the team fight. I'm gonna blink in.
Yeah.
It went very, very, very well for them there on Among Us. And hey, you know, like you said, ease of execution, right? So if they can get that first step done, if you can find that initial AoE stun, you've got plenty of follow-up for it and plenty of damage to pack on. And they did exactly that. Very nicely done.
I think it was better played by Among Us, to be honest, particularly by Abed, who did a great initiation there with the Torrent Ghost Ship. I do believe that Lance was quite smart about his positioning. He didn't really overcommit, but I didn't understand the DDZ going in. Because you can calculate when the egg explodes, right? It's a pretty obvious calculation, but it's always the same 5 seconds. So you should be able to prepare for that. Kunkka was more justified, because Kunkka sacrificed himself.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Indeed. Just a little bit of housekeeping here as we might see March get blown up. Actually, there's no toss available, so he's A-okay. But a little bit of housekeeping. If you're watching on BTS2, we are now live on Beyond the Summit Regular. It seems like the stream feed is a little bit cleaner over there, as the BTS2 is a little bit further, apparently, from SCA. But do check us out there. Feel free to switch on over, as we'll be probably only streaming on that one after the game. But there we go. What will silence there to pick up the kill onto Candyloon. They may be going for more as well. With the hoof stomp, he's going to find the Oracle, and that's going to be as easy as they come there for In Your Dream. X marks the spot into the Torrent now to continue channeling it now onto the Lance. Underneath the tier 2 tower they go, but there's actually not a whole lot of help for him here, but he's a bit too fast for them. Out he goes.
Okay, the arrow is not going to hit anyone, but it was a good attempt, though. Lance, I think, has been the rock of his team. He's rarely dying in wrong positions. He's not making really many mistakes. He's getting the map control on top of the farm. He's been doing a really good job, whereas DDZ has been the maniac here, trying to go in and out of each fight and usually getting punished for it. And Among Us is taking advantage of this. In Your Dream already has Dezo Armlet, so he's ready to fight. Lance also apparently wants to fight with SNY. Let's see if they can. DDZ walks in, pulling dagger. Nice! Avalanche talking to 2, but the rage is activated on time by In Your Dream. The roar is actually for the Centaur, so In Your Dream is still hitting. In Your Dream, they're just ignoring him completely, going for the egg instead. Can they destroy it in time? Abed trying to protect it. He can't. But he does get torn off with the ghost ship. Lance is forced to use the battle trance, but he stays there. Unfortunately, gets hit by the ship as they destroy Abed. 4-on-1, sorry. In Your Dream doesn't really know if to join. He wants to get away. He TPs. Abed will be the sacrificial lamb as the carry. In Your Dream gets away. Very odd choice, I guess, by Star, but it worked out. They completely ignore the Lifestealer, and that's exactly what they had to do.
Yeah, good target prioritization. I think we saw Team Star generally. They are really good at this. We saw them excel in this regard yesterday in their match versus Army Geniuses as well. And yeah, I mean they definitely know that this lifestealer, he's going to be a problem in a little bit. But right now, Abed is where a lot of the damage, a lot of the control is coming from. So they divide and conquer. The Mirana does a great job of actually kiting around in your dream with the leap charges and the Yule Scepter. And by the time what he realizes what's going on, the team fight's already gone pretty bad for them there.
Well, 2k advantage still for Star, but slowly decreasing as Among Us is getting better and better engagements. But they haven't really been able to utilize their team fight correctly. I think Star's been doing a good job of just completely ignoring Lifestealer, ensuring the Phoenix dies, Centaur dies. Kunkka is also a problem. But at some point, Lifestealer can have so much damage you won't be able to do that anymore.
Yes, that's right. At some point, he really will be a problem, and he's going to probably 2 or 3 shot the Mirana and then continue to eat the rest of your team. But for now, Team Star, I think they recognize that they can get away with that and continue to just fight around in your dream, you know? He's not quite like walking around to Sven, but at this stage of the game, it's just about that easy. But now with the Desolator up, he's going to be a bit scarier. He's going to have this AC coming his way pretty soon as well, so he is going to just full fighting.
Yeah, I like the AC. It's gonna be a nice build to try to beat the Troll. The Troll versus Lifestealer is a difficult matchup for Lifestealer on 1v1 scenario because obviously you can't stop him from using Battle Trance, and then he just kills you, right? You have to have something to infest, but usually Lifestealer does not save the infest until the last point of the team fight. But the Kunkka can do so much against the Troll that can be mitigated a bit in a late game. All Lifestealer needs to do is tank up a bit more. He could consider Hens Halberd later as well, which is quite brutal against Troll, especially if you do it when he swaps to ranged. That's a full 5 seconds for a hero that's potentially melee. That's a pretty big deal. Yeah, I don't think they can destroy this. Mirana's trying. Oh no, Mirana alone. Yamate versus the world. The Tiny's like, I'm out of here. You can fight this if you want, Yamate. He starts to DP. I don't think he's gonna be successful. Oh yes! Mirana is the true tank. Even Yule's back in the base so she can dispel the fire spirits so she doesn't die in that base. I'm loving it. Well played, Yamate.
All right, a little bit more housekeeping for you guys. We are going to switch over the feed here yet again, so we're gonna have a little bit of downtime, but we'll be back just in a bit to hopefully fix the choppy issues. So stick around, and if you're watching in Dota TV, well, you still get to experience the action.
Exactly. On Dota TV, you guys are set. On the stream, you get the extra goodies that we can provide once we fix it. In your dream, nice at range. You knew the arrow was coming. Yamate's looking in longingly, like, all right, well, I guess I can't do anything as Lifestealer. GG. This is my game now. And it's really difficult to play Mirana versus Lifestealer because your reliable stun is not really useful against them, so you're kind of there for everyone else this game. By the way, I want to talk about an item that I saw, which is really interesting. Zephyr went for a Holy Locket, which I love. Amplifies his healing, amplifies the healing of course with Sunray to your teammates. You can even use the Holy Locket to actually heal one of your teammates, which can be particularly useful with heroes like Silencer, which they're usually going on. So a very interesting pickup here on the Holy Locket.
Yep, this is an item that got added into the game, and I immediately loved it. And then, and then they buffed it some more. They buffed it some more. It's got very minor buffs to make it, like you're saying, a situational item at best here. But I think this is definitely one of those games. You can actually now cast it on your allies. That was one of the suggestions, and I think back in the spring cleaning patch that Reddit kept suggesting, and it was a pretty good one. So if you see someone pop a mega wand, that is going to be out from the Phoenix. There's DDZ, the Mad Lad. He sees a support, he's going to kill a support.
Okay, not bad. I mean, getting rid of the Silencer essentially enables your team fight for the next like 30 seconds, or at least pushing. Because they can't really contest the Silencer. Candy Loom though is a bit crazy. I don't know if Centaur's a target you want to go for.
No. Yeah,
you force him to pipe. I guess that's fine. you force the pipe out. You kind of scared him. I don't know. I don't think Centaur should ever be the target. But to be honest, both Centaur and Kunkka are quite tanky, so...
structures are fortified.
I don't know how you play these team fights anymore. Because obviously killing Silencer and Phoenix is a priority, but you gotta add some...
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Yes, indeed. Mirana actually nearly with a BKB here, so she's actually going to be able to be very effective in kiting around plenty of heroes here, actually forcing plenty of utility onto Abed, plenty of utility in your dream, as again,
Radiant's
they go further, invisible right now, but they see him with a dust, so I don't know what your plan was. Yes, great. March is dead, but you're behind a tier 2, dude. What do you think? The Magnus is blind and they're not going to help their teammate? I know he's a support, but he still matters to them. Oh,
DDZ, he just can't stop himself, you know? He's like a recovering addict. He's like, I don't know, dude. I just see a support on Tiny and I have Blink Echo Saber. I kill him. I just have to.
Yeah, it's essentially, what is it? See kill, get kill, right? It's just that. It's not much complexity to his playstyle, but it's been kind of working out this game because the amount of space he's been given to the troll has been kind of ridiculous. Yes, Lance is banded for you, or alternatively, if you DC and you click twice or 3 times, it will abandon automatically. So there's a lot of ways to DC by accident. It's actually happened to me before. It really sucks.
Oh, they will be catching Yamate.
Oh, he has BKB!
All right, bad kitty. Hit him with the spray bottle.
That is the
when you're trying to discipline your cat, but the cat BKBs and runs away.
Yeah. What is the equivalent of a BKB for a cat when he starts dropping your kitchen utensils on the floor? Right?
Yeah, when it starts eating
when he breaks your rice cooker top. Right, yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious me.
But they will be TPing
people in here.
Beaten by a cat.
They want to defend here. I think they AC freshly up here with the BKB on cooldown. BKB for the Tiny, but that's a good way to start the fight. Not if you get Global Silence. DDZ, though, nice BKB timing as he will now toss back in your dream back towards the kitty cat. Brutal steps it up, though. She's going to be able to kite him out a little bit longer. He's going to be enraged, and now Lance popping his own BKB, going for Mars, but there's the Stampede. They've held onto it for this long, and it's done well. The counter initiation as in they go. Kuku with the stomp onto DDZ. No more BKB. The toss as he might be able to save his own life a little bit now. The false promise out from Moses to keep himself alive. But Lance, he's being kited out. There's the ultimate. He's now going to be into the boat, up into the Eul Scepter, and he will be nuked down. Finally, the first kill in this engagement. Very nice back and forth that we're seeing, and it's not quite over yet, as I think the stragglers will now be picked off. Poor DDZ, kind of left all by his lonesome. He's not going to be able to live much longer.
I would say that was quite a mistake by Mozum, how he decided to play that fight, because you false promise. First of all, Kennedy was not there halfway through, but you clearly decided to disengage at one point, but they left the troll behind. So the Tiny shouldn't have received the false promise and then kept fighting. Once you false promise the Tiny, it's because you want to completely leave. He has no sustained damage. So if you false promise him right after he's used the combo, which was exactly the case this game, you are actually completely losing your false promise. For 9 seconds, Tiny does nothing. So what's the point? You just saved him. Useless. You need to false promise the troll and fate seeing the Tiny if you want to continue fighting. And if you false promise the Tiny to save him, you need to disengage immediately, because troll requires the Oracle to save in this game. So yeah, I don't think that was the cleanest execution from Keemstar, to be honest.
Yep. No, I think that makes sense, because that's like, I mean, we neglected to mention it, but it's one of the classic quote-unquote cheese, right? Dazzle Troll, Oracle Troll, you know.
Troll Oracle much better than Dazzle Troll. Now you don't care about the staying alive. Oracle is just a more buffed up version of Dazzle, really, of Dazzle support, mind you.
Arcane power.
Yeah, I think that's more or less accurate for sure. He does.
That was kind of the case, because they're like, why does Dazzle do better than Oracle in terms of a support?
And if I remember, nobody knew what Oracle ulti did when it came out. Sometimes in my pubs, people still don't know what it does. It's fine.
Oh, here's a little story. So back in Dota 1, when Oracle got introduced, he was the last hero to get introduced together with Earth Spirit, right, in Dota 1. And because it was still being updated while Dota 2 was existing, so he actually got introduced to while Dota 2 was existing, right? So a bunch of the people that played Dota 1 were just a bunch of the people that just loved that game, right? So they were much more experimental about it, and less standard like Dota 2 is. And when he came out, one of the biggest things people concentrated on was that Oracle actually has one of the lowest BATs in the game. I think it's 1.45. And they're like, oh, low BAT means attack speed is great on him. And so everyone in Dota 1, at least for like a week or 2 after his release, just built a Maelstrom on him and played him as a carry because of the low BAT. And that's all they did. And they would be like, yeah, Maelstrom, Mjolnir, MKB, the guy hits so fast, it's incredible. We're taking advantage of parts we've never seen before. And of course it was trash. And then when it came to Dota 2, I was like, oh, I'm afraid of what's going to happen here. Is it going to be Oracle carrying my pubs for a week? But it wasn't.
You know, when I was learning how to play the hero, in all the guides, it was like, Oracle has a great BAT, so make sure you harass a lot in lane. Like, that's funny that you say that. Yeah, no, apparently he's got good range too, so it's a shame his damage is pretty piss poor in the lane. But what I was going to say though is I think right now it's kind of, look how they massacred my poor boy, you know. This ulti, the Aghanims upgrade rather for Oracle, I think is probably now one of the worst in the game. I don't know when you would ever want to pick it up. Maybe this game actually is one of the very few scenarios so you can get a long-range initiation stun and then follow up with the EDZ or something like that. But
Oh yeah, it's true. But they changed it because actually the older X was okay.
Yeah, the older X was fun. It was like Purifying Flames. You could just spam that, but you know, but you listen to some Papa Roach when you're doing it. But now it's just it's awful. I mean, it's super situational at best. I really don't know. I don't like the change, unfortunately. Even if the old eggs was maybe just never purchased, but who knows? This one could be fun. It's now on Fortune's End. It turns it into a stun for I believe half of the duration.
It's so dumb, though. Why would I want... Oh, I bought a 4,200 gold item to get 1 second of stun.
I agree with you, and then also, I think it's even worse, because if you want the Axe to be good, you realistically also have to take the level 10 talent of Fortune's End duration, which means you're losing on that 12 int, which is a fair bit of mana, right? It's 240 mana, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I think
and then you're also...
with that talent, though.
Yeah, and then you also have to take the 25 talent of the Fortune's End max duration, but there they go. Now, teamfight, oh my goodness, deleted. Oracle is gone now. Lance, though, he's not going to be able to use the ulti if he silenced up. BKB'd now as he runs away, but he's a bit too fast for them. Abed continuing underneath the tier 2. Might try and go for the re-engage here.
Nice arrow, stopping In Your Dream from going in. That was about to be Oracle dead. Skuku still tried. Oracle's for now surviving. Mozoon, he's really holding on to the false promise. He understands the importance of it.
But DDZ's just coming back. He's like, hey guys, where you been? I was trying to kill their backliners. Don't mind me.
This is role. Just create havoc. Oh, nice. They broke the tree, so now they have vision of lifesteal as he's farming the ancients. Kunkka. Yeah, headbutting the arrow. Do you want to be...
though.
This Kunkka looks like really, he would make a great Mexican soccer player.
Why do you say that? Because they're good at taking corner kicks, but then they always crush my hopes and dreams when they get out of group stage, but then lose in the first round of playoffs.
I was gonna say that because he has a beard and he headbutts things. But yeah, sure. I'll take that.
Oh, that was the French player, wasn't it? Who headbutt the guy and got a red card in like 2008 World Cup.
That's very true. Yes, but that, I meant usually headbutting balls, which is a thing in football, not when you're violent in the ass.
Yeah, but you know, whatever.
BKB's available on Lance. He's not afraid of Abed. Oh, they actually missed the combo though. Okay. The Roshan is almost dead. I don't know entirely what they're planning on doing here. Neither team really knows they want to engage. Cuckoo, perfect initiation with a 4th up as well. But now he's stuck here. Nintendo wants to kill him. But In Your Dream already blew up Mozoon, so Lance is alone. He only has a battle trance left to heal him back up. Oracle's done for 60 seconds. Buyback immediately on Cuckoo. Lance realizes he cannot continue to fight this. Yol Scepter to keep him in place. Now the Supernova. Torn will hit as well. And there's no way this poor troll is surviving this engagement. Supernova stuns him for half of the battle trance duration. They continue to fight against him. He tries to heal back up, but it's just impossible. A futile effort by the enemy carry that is going to be mimicked by Candy Loon, who's also going to fall. Among Us just massacred poor Star. The Oracle was key, and the Oracle got destroyed first.
Yeah, I think basically your last little statement. Oracle is definitely key in these fights. If they have a false promise there, that fight looks completely different. But a good target prioritization there is going to make that team fight easy. As Cuckoo was looking for the straggling DDZ, he knew where he was, but unfortunately just didn't have the cast range to stop him from TPing away. But that will now be Aegis and Cheese on over to In Your Dream. 5k net worth lead here, 36 minutes into the game now, and Among Us, they're looking like they're pretty good here in this game. And now we've got a Basher as well coming to the way here on In Your Dream. He's actually gone for a Lincoln Sphere on himself too, which is a fantastic item for him this game. But yeah, he's going to be pretty unkillable here pretty soon once he gets that Abyssal up.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Let's see if this is another tower. DZ, open wounds as well. Yeah, I don't think you're getting away from this. In Your Dream. Okay, never mind. Yeah, got a force use BKB. Yeah, that was, I guess, BKB better than your life, but now you can't really defend this.
Okay, Yamate's like, I'm getting in there, guys. Let's go. I BKB'd. Short little arrow onto Kunkka. DDZ blinking in without his BKB onto the lifesteal, but In Your Dream focusing onto the towers, onto the things that matters. There's the Lincoln Sphere that gets popped, but immediately onto the barracks they go. And my goodness, 4 structure armors, all they can get going there. And Cuckoo with the lifestealer infested. He's a bit too fast, and Aurora's not going to catch him.
Yeah, it feels a bit bad when you're playing in this situation because you lost the early, or you won the early game, but then they start to make a comeback because they have much better team fight than you. And now when it comes to the late game, it's much more difficult for you to come back. In fact, if Among Us was losing at this point, they would still come back. But in the case of Star, because you lack the superior team fight Among Us brings, it's great. Also, Tiny is such an awkward spot right now. He's trying to transition from being an initiator to a carry, and he's unsuccessfully doing so because I mean that's what Tiny Mid is. That's one of the issues of Tiny Mid.
Radiant's middle
Yeah,
tower
the transition
has
period really sucks. It's fun for the first 10 minutes after you get your Blink and Echo Saber. Yeah, that's why he was killing March as many times as he could, because now it's very difficult. We saw in that last team fight, well actually we didn't see him attacking very much whenever Echo Saber was on cooldown, because that's the hero, you know?
Yeah,
he's got 2 agility, literally.
Yeah, I mean, you go, and I don't even know where he's getting them from. What,
yeah, that's a good point. Where is he? Oh, it's from the Brazier.
Yeah, he goes. The point of a Tiny that initiates is just going in and out of the fight, right? But when fights become quicker and you need more sustained damage rather than going in and out, and you can't kite the enemy as easily, then he becomes much more useless as initiator. And your offlaner is also not the best at 5-on-5 engagements. He's much more of a pick-off hero, trying to use the vision for that. And in fact, look at this. They're not afraid of you. And your dream is literally just walking up to the tower and hitting it. Everyone's staying behind to make sure they can't hurt.
Action time.
Yeah, he's fine. And your dream is perfect with that rage. 0 cast point, of course, so if your reaction time is good, no excuses, right?
Really incredible. Professional players, man. Oof, machines.
Yeah. That's why
Abed?
when we... Oh.
Could be in trouble. Yeah, the Yule Scepter, that should be a guaranteed arrow if they don't mess it up. The 4 stacks to save him, though. DDZ now jumping in. There's the Roar. The Global Silence will now try and turn Abed so tanky, and there's going to be the Sunray as well with the heals coming on through. Still the mechanism now popped. It's like having a chat on Reggie as Lance now trying to turn and fight, but Abed popping. The Torrent Storm here is going to force away basically everyone. Lance versus the World here as he's going to pop out from the False Promise with 100 HP, make that, and Cuckoo will seal off his life there with a double edge.
That's not great. So that was the first team fight, if you noticed, that we actually saw the Troll Oracle. And it was just a bit too late, unfortunately. Troll is no longer as more fun than Lifestealer. He can't really man-fight him, and the sustained damage is higher for Among Us. It's pretty simple for them to turn around team fights, especially because Abed went for full team fight.
And it feels like to me a big part was the Torrent Storm makes it so impossible for anyone to be close and try and support him lest they get lifted and stunned, and then they're just dead.
And between that and Supernova, it's so difficult to get close to anyone here. We have so many good zone out spells, even March with a counter nation for Global Silence.
Megas.
Yeah, and your dream gets the Megas here, and that's probably game. I don't know if you can really come back from Megas, to be honest, Star.
Step lively now. Your
I mean, they can probably hold on for a while, right? You do have at least a Battle of Fury and neutral Warlord, who's going to be basically the only person that can clear creep away without DDZ committing an Ava toss. But yeah, it seems like it is a little... It's probably going to be GG soon. But of course, they're going to give it their all here. They don't want to give up any games for free, that's for sure. But yeah, it's so difficult. It feels like... Oh, hold that thought. Yamata is going to die. Gets the chance to get anything off. DDZ again going for the backliners, and now March with 4 staffs a bit too survivable. He's going to be forced to BKB just to escape. Just kidding. He's going right back again for March. This guy doesn't care. 3 seconds and he's blinking in, Alvaro. Here it comes.
Let's see if they can take the towers as well.
Radiant's middle
I don't know if you can really stop this, honestly. They're just looking at them like bystanders. It just feels so impotent. Lance. Oh, okay, they at least missed the Torrent. So maybe they're giving Lance a chance. They go for Cuckoo, who has a cheese, by the way, still. Infest, so he has 4k HP. Good luck trying to bring him down. Okay, they will. Never mind. Cuckoo was easy to kill from the Troll. Got the Valorant's ready. There's the Valorant's used. Going just for the Kunkka, but Candy Loon's the target. Candy Loon will die immediately on the Supernova set up. The Ghost keeps studying Lance, and Lance, you're not surviving this engagement. I am sorry, buddy. 120 seconds without him, and the GG is called. They don't want to play without a Troll, and they can't die.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good effort from DDZ. He definitely recognized, okay, we need to do what they're doing to us. We need to jump their backline supports.